Get this 11 to 1 weekdays on the Triple M network.
We've got Greg Fleet joining us for lunch today.
With his very own pretend clapping machine.
Brilliant. You know, we had yesterday John Cooper Clarke. We thought, let's throw ourselves a curveball for our first co-host for the year.
And how did he go?
He was great, but so many people were calling up saying
What
they
did he
can't
say?
understand a word he's saying.
Well, I did Edinburgh with him one year, and I did that show 10 years in a long sleeve shirt, which was about at that stage, what I thought was the end of my drug addiction.
Yes.
And which we'll talk about later, because I'm actually going away on a bit of a health camp for a few weeks. But we'll get to that later. But I met John Cooper Clarke in Edinburgh, and he'd written a show called 10 Years in an Open Neck Shirt.
Yes, I had that in here yesterday.
Yeah, about being working class and stuff. So I'd done this show, 10 Years in a Long Sleeve Shirt, about drug addiction. And John Cooper Clarke had made no secret of the fact that he'd had a bit of a hobby himself in that area. And I said to him, oh, man, I hope you don't mind that I've kind of borrowed the title of your show for mine. And he went, oh, no, man, that's freaking postmodern, man. That's postmodern, that is, And he was great. But, just hearing someone in that voice going, oh, man, that's postmodern, that is. And he told me all these bizarre things. He was with Nico when she died. From
When
the
she
Velvet
died?
Underground. Yeah, she had a brain tumour riding a bicycle.
That's right.
And John Cooper Clarke was there.
Yeah, he was
Just in a sidecar.
just a couple of people out on a bike.
A tandem.
Yeah, well, they were out on like some cycling holiday. And I'm
he was
just imagining the two most unhealthy people in the universe. I'm going, if only I'd had my little, trundler there, I would have joined in.
It's just like every name we mentioned, he seemed to have had something to do. He's like Forrest Gump.
And then at the end of the show, when we were all kind of wandering off to Matt to have a listen back to some of it, he wanted us to stay in the studio to discuss his favourite Simpsons characters.
Which was Diamond Joe Quimby. Diamond Joe Quimby.
I love him, man. I love Quimby. But he's got his legs are like black-clad sticks.
They were amazing. I looked at them a few times.
Yes.
And they I wanted to touch them.
Yeah,
Just to see where the bones start.
Girls would die for those legs.
I look like Casey Donovan sitting here next to John Cooper Clarke.
And sang like her, which was really weird. It's the first time I'd heard you sing without an English accent.
Now, Greg, what do you mean? Are we allowed to talk about this? You're going away to a health camp. Is this a Lindsay Lohan style?
It is a Lindsay Lohan style health camp, although I don't think I'll be overdosing while I'm there.
Right. Now, you're doing something good for yourself. It's positive.
Well, it is. I mean, I've checked it out. It's basically a rehab, although I'm a little bit disturbed because I checked them out a little bit and they've got a fairly archaic approach to the whole heroin issue. Like, you're not allowed to take any of that with you, which they didn't tell me at the time. So, obviously, I'll have to just limit it to grog and marijuana.
No.
But now, apparently, you're not allowed to do any of that in there. So,
Jeez.
so I'll be coming back very fit and healthy. And
That's good, Greg.
I think so. I think
done.
Yeah, well done.
And look, a friend of mine actually found Jesus in rehab, and I thought, well, look,
Wow.
if Jesus is at rehab, it can't be all bad people,
Yeah.
Like, if the Lord himself has got a bit of a substance abuse problem and he's in there, then, it's good enough for the Fleet Man.
Just while we're talking about Jesus, and I don't mean to inflame our listenership, but we were going on about the environment.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
And this Al Gore movie?
Yeah.
Inconvenient truth.
They're starting to show it in schools in America.
Yep.
And people aren't happy about this.
I know,
Right.
you're not allowed to show anything real in America.
Yeah, I think their educational content's what got them
yeah.
upset about that.
Yeah.
Well, a man called Frosty Hardiman of Washington is campaigning to have this policy reversed and
Put it on ice.
We've got some quotes from him. He's a parent of 7 in the southern suburbs of Seattle, and he says, "Liberal left is all over Hollywood. No, you will not teach or show that propagandist Al Gore video to my child blaming our nation, the greatest nation to ever exist on the planet, for this global so-called warming."
Yeah.
That's an exact quote from his email to, the US government.
And it's actually got a how-to accent thing on the bottom of the email. How to do this accent.
Like global so-called warming.
So cool.
But this is the part that got me. The 43-year-old computer consultant is an evangelical Christian who says he believes that a warming planet is one of the signs of Jesus Christ's imminent return for Judgment Day. Now, is that how it's working? Jesus Christ is up there going, "It's a bit nippy down there.
Yeah.
Can you turn it up a bit? I'll pop down there. But I'm not going down in that cold.
Tell you what, the robe and sandals, I'll freeze in
I'm
Alaska.
going to catch my death down
Let's
there."
turn it up a bit.
I think Jesus is coming back. Why? I don't know. There's 4 skeletons on horses over there and it's pretty warm.
I'll tell you what.
I was walking down the street, just down the road here, and this is absolutely true. Carload of guys drives past. Now, this has got swearing in it, so I'm going to have to edit this in my head. Imagine the worst swear word of all is the word pineapple. You know, that substitutes for that other word. And freaking can be for the second worst one. Okay? So I'm walking down the road, and this car drives past me, and a guy yells out, "Get this, Fleety! You're a freaking legend," right? So I'm okay, he's a fan of the show.
So far, so good.
So I turn around to look, and by the time I look, the driver is now in front of me, and I'm actually looking in the back passenger window, right, because the car was moving. And so the driver's gone, "Get this, Lady, you're a freaking legend." I turn around, I'm looking at the guy in the back seat, and he goes, "What the freak are you looking at, you freaking pineapple?" Right? So in the space of 4 feet, there's the entire emotional range of Fleet mania. From extreme love to extreme hate. And the car kept driving, and I thought, I wonder the argument they would have had up the road, like going, "No, he's a legend, he's a freaking pineapple," And I just hoped there'd be some guy, another guy in the car, like a third, more rational guy going, "No, Fleety actually exists somewhere between those two poles." But it was so funny. Like, they weren't trying to be smart. It was like, a guy that loved me, behind him in the car is a guy who hates me, and it all went down. It was just
That's a focus group. That's what we call a focus group.
Exactly.
Here, get this. Ed Cavalier, or as readers of the Herald Sun in Melbourne know him, Ed Cavalis. That's what they call him in that paper.
I'm no longer calling Ed Cavalier Dr. Ed Cavalier, because just as we went to air, he said to me, "Is pneumonia bad for you?" Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, it's not good for you.
Who's got pneumonia?
Oh, it's James Brown.
Oh, James Brown. Now,
He's got it very badly.
And what were you saying about that, Richard Marsland?
Well, I heard that perhaps his body hasn't been buried yet because the family is still contesting the estate.
Right.
But I think it's also because whenever they put the cape over him to lay him to rest, he
He gets up and gives it a bit. But you wouldn't have to.
Very good.
It's not bad at all.
James Brown fans in the hizzy.
In the hizzy. You'd also wouldn't have to worry about his body being preserved. I think he's taken enough preservatives so that that thing he's probably still doing gigs.
Are we going to do... I had an idea, because you know how Movember was such a big success?
Yes.
Well, we've got to do one of those. What about Capril?
Capril.
People have to wear capes. Yeah! All through April for charity. Capril coming up.
Capril. Oh, I'm so jealous.
Exclusive to get this.
Rapidly trying to think of another amusing month-based activity.
Yeah, so was I. I gave up for a while.
What other ones? I thought maybe we could celebrate Lebuary, which is to counteract all the anti-Lebanese
That's a
talk
good
that's
idea.
filling our
nice.
media.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
What about Fool Eye, where we just act stupid for a month? Oh, hang on. We're already doing that.
The Sydney News, Ian Ross, I think, said this last night.
Financial experts are warning the New South Wales economy is so sick it could be adopted by Angelina Jolie.
Wonderful.
That's a new approach to the news.
I don't know what they're saying there. They're saying it's either sick to be adopted by. You know what I'm saying? They're saying it could be adopted by, or it's so sick that it should be adopted by.
I never got that far into it, I'm afraid.
Doesn't make
Richard.
sense.
I'm just sitting there going, why not just go the whole hog during the news? Have Dickie Knee popping up. Have Murray Tregoning dropping sound effects in. Nurse!
Have the weather guy with a gong in the background. Bang. A wooga. I don't get it, Ian. I don't get the joke.
I've got one for you. This is
Yeah.
what I saw on the Channel 10 News last night. Imagine this. You go into a shop and you say, I'm going to try on some clothes. What would you do if you want to know whether they looked all right?
How do these look? These good?
Who are you talking to, though?
Oh, my friend.
Who's at the shop with you?
Yeah.
Or maybe you could look in a mirror
Oh, yeah, that's the other one.
and then you'd know yourself.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
No, why not submit it to the internet?
Oh, no.
Shops in America with the mirrors somehow hooked up to the internet,
Wow.
canvassing suggestions from nerds.
Wow.
Check this out.
When the customer walks into the store, they get changed in the dressing room and step out. And instead of asking their girlfriends, hey, how do I look, they can step in front of the mirror and ask the world what they think.
The mirror, equipped with the infrared technology, sends a live video feed of what you're wearing to anyone with a computer, mobile phone or email account anywhere in the world. The mirror then takes a survey from the online judges and gives a thumbs up or thumbs down.
The best bit is, normally you'd ask your girlfriend, what does she know? You know what I mean? All she does is love and support you. What does she know that a nerd in Nebraska, sort of lazily flicking through Star Trek blogs, tells you whether if your new singlet looks good or not? That's whose opinion I want.
But who are these people? Who's sitting there waiting?
Me, I'm going to do it.
Waiting for someone to go into a change room?
Yeah.
But it's like a am I hot or am I not thing. You know what I mean? Like you could just get on there and you could actually give people a bum steer if you want to. You know what I mean? You could
I see what you're
you should
saying.
buy a pair of Converse sneakers with that. you know.
But that's
With
not
that
what people
ball
are going
gown.
to... It's not going to be that helpful because the message comes up on the mirror.
Yeah.
So you're standing...
the mirror?
On,
And-
prints on the
oh,
mirror.
no.
So you're just going to be sitting there and it's just going to say, take more off. Take it all off. Let's go upskirting.
All
You know
right.
what it's going to... You know
All
what the
right,
internet's
yeah.
like? It's not going to be, oh, yes, that looks marvellous. Maybe a smaller size for you. It's going to be just, whoa, that's all it's going to say.
Hi, Gus.
Hey,
What have you seen?
Lucky Louie,
What's that?
show on HBO.
Yeah.
Obviously the people that made Deadwood.
Yeah.
Yes.
Leaves Deadwood for dead in the language department.
Oh, that's
Really?
not possible, surely.
Really?
And,
that got a round of
obviously-
applause. So what's it about?
Husband and wife, she goes to work, he stays at home, looks after the little 4-year-old.
Yeah.
Struggling, just nothing really more than just that. Couple of neighbours, couple of friends, very, very funny. If you thought Short Bus was good,
I love Short Bus. Did you see it?
on your recommendation, and you guys are mad. That is some crazy, crazy stuff.
Who did you go with?
No. I didn't have the guts to go. I downloaded it.
Oh,
did
you
you?
downloaded it.
And who did you watch it with, Gus?
No, watched it by myself for about 15 minutes and then just stopped it and thought,
Yeah.
what the hell am I doing? Called the wife and I said, let me know if you think this is strange.
And her verdict?
Yeah, she agreed.
You didn't clip the beginning, did you, I hope?
The beginning was like, you guys are freaks.
Thank you, Gus. Hi, Chris.
How are you?
Seen Short Bus?
No, I haven't.
Oh, come on, Chris.
There's going to be a run on that movie when it comes out on DVD. And I don't reckon we're going to be that popular. But hey, why should things change?
Chumbawamba never had any other big hits, did they?
Were they another bowling for soup?
Bit of a political band from the UK.
Really?
Yeah, and they did a Band-Aid parody in like the early 80s called Pictures of Starving Children Sell Records. That was the name of the song. Yeah.
See, if Richard Marsden had been poached by the shebang, we would never have known that.
Better for it.
Okay, while we're talking about sounds of the past, let's have a bit of nostalgia.
What is this?
I don't know, it's something that was popular in the 90s, apparently, all around the country. Rarely heard these days. Crank it right up, Richard. People love this.
Enjoying this.
How do you like that, Brisbane? Don't worry, there's not much of it down here either. Isn't that fantastic?
The umbrella salesman.
Oh, the
You know?
poor umbrella sale.
What are the novelty umbrella salesmen? There used to be where you could walk down the street and someone would be carrying a hilarious one that was like a frog's head, eyes popping out the top. What of that?
He's moved on.
Has he?
He has.
Sorry.
Your idea yesterday, rain dancing, I think that's
Yep.
a good one.
Yep.
Maybe we've got to have some kind of competition here on the program.
Now you're talking
To
my
get
language.
The official Get This Rain Dance
Oh,
app.
come on.
So how would this
Hang on a
work?
second. No, hang on. So what they're going to do, right? In your house, workplace, community hall, you get in there with some friends or
Yep.
by yourself if you don't have any,
Sure.
a tripod.
Understood.
Then you record yourself doing a rain dance. Do we set the theme song? Do we have one theme song that everyone has to dance to?
I don't know about that.
So it's your own choice.
'Cause, you
Can we
know-
ban them from using tub thumping
Yeah, anything but the tub thumping song.
and no wuss rock?
And
right?
can we put like clips up on our website, Nikki? Really?
This is good.
How modern of us.
Okay, Kel Modern. Now, what's the prize? How about like a pack?
Okay, it's sounding bad already.
No. How about a basket full of all of the products that we've made up on the show?
Oh, like the ugly Dave Greywater?
Yep. Roman Stamos Effluent.
Okay, I think there needs to be a meeting about the prize
This is
pack.
the meeting.
And then we should announce it properly when we've
I'm
actually...
out of here as soon as we're off air.
But that's good. I would like to see some good dancing on our website.
Done.
And if it could help, arouse the gods to maybe turn the taps on,
Now we're getting somewhere.
that could be a go. But don't worry, because the US government, as we know, are leading the charge against global warming. Full of good ideas. What would be the best way for them to do that?
Less emissions.
Less carbon emissions, you're
Yeah,
saying?
that's what I reckon.
That's leftist communist talk right there.
Am I a commie?
You are
Am I
now.
one of those watermelons, green on the outside but very pink in the middle?
That is such an insane idea to cut the carbon emission.
Okay.
Why not giant mirrors in space? That's the latest idea. The US government wants the world's scientists to develop technology to block sunlight
Good idea.
as a last-ditch way to halt global warming. It says research into techniques such as giant mirrors in
Yep.
space
Yep.
or reflective dust
Reflective
pumped
dust.
into the atmosphere would be, quote, important insurance against rising emissions.
There's a scientist called, going by the name of M. Burns from a town called Springfield who tried something like this.
They should hook it up to that internet mirror we were talking about yesterday. And so we can ask other planets how exactly we look.
Oh, yes.
Does New Zealand look fat in this?
A bit more up the sides. Oh, and hang on. I can see Pluto stealing some Chiquitos. Look, just as well we put that mirror up there.
Yeah, tell you what.
A giant mirror. I mean, how big would it have to be? I mean, how big are we talking?
It's got to be huge.
At least, yeah.
Huge. I mean, we're talking like, the size of Melbourne.
Okay, it's up there. I mean, how do you get it up there?
You fling it, discus style. A huge
catapult.
A huge catapult. If it's a dust, like a reflective dust, let's say it's that, you get the dudes up there, the astronauts, with the kind of leaf blower.
But how do you
just spraying dust everywhere?
How do you control the dust? Because obviously, okay, it's there.
Control dust, Tony. This is space, man.
But at some
There's
point,
orbit just holding the dust in place.
But we want the sun back at some point, don't we?
Just blow it or just get rid of the dust.
So okay,
get rid of the dust.
The dust confuses me. We've got a giant mirror.
Yeah.
We've got it up there. Let's assume we can get it up there.
Yep.
Now we've positioned it between the sun and Earth, reflecting the heat and light back at the sun.
Yep.
What, forever?
Yep.
We've just had it with the sun, haven't
No,
we?
till we've had some rain.
And then what?
Bring it down. Happens again. Fling it back up.
Just maybe take a pot shot at it.
There we go.
With a slug gun. It's done its job.
But if you break it, it's 7 light years of bad luck.
Oh!
You know?
The head of the science department, Richard Marsden, is here. I don't know if that's a good idea. Is that a good idea? A giant mirror.
Worth trying. It's
in
worth
space.
trying. Look, Tone, we've come up with rain dancing the tub thumping.
Yeah.
These guys have got a giant mirror. Who do you think's going to get the prize?
Rain dancing to anything but tub thumping. We need a meeting on this one. There's not a lot of support for Lebuary, I have to say.
Really?
What ideas do we have for January? Flanuary. That was very poor. Vanuary?
Vanuary? I'm into that.
Retanuary. Jackie Chanuary. Ku Klux Klanuary. That'd be popular.
There we go.
We had no good January ideas.
No.
What about Russell Crowe? What's he up to now?
Ah, what's he? What? He's got a role? Is he
He's
acting or
doing
chucking?
Combining the two in a new version of Robin Hood.
That's what we need.
A new version.
Hopefully there'll be 2 in a row like there was last time. Remember that? The Kevin Costner one came out. And
Prince of Thieves.
Yeah, and then the English one came out. Within 3 months of each other.
With Patrick Bergen, I think you'll find.
Patrick Bergen.
Some good capes in that.
Oh, great capes.
But no, this is going to be a new version.
Yep.
Where, you know how every 20 years someone will do a revisionist Robin Hood?
Yes.
Here comes this one. Sheriff of Nottingham's the good guy.
Whoa.
Yeah. And that's Russell Crowe.
Who's playing Robin? Clive Owen?
Does anyone matter?
No.
No, it doesn't matter really.
Screech from
It's all-
Saved by the Bell?
It's all about Russell.
Okay.
It's going to be called Nottingham.
Oh.
And he'll get to do. Will he be doing the voice?
I will not rest until this Robin of Locksley, this bastard son of a bastard father, has been brought to justice in this our most merry England.
There's the Oscar clip.
That's
the
it.
Oscar clip. Hot stuff.
Could he do like, I don't know, Dude, Where's My Car?
Oh, yeah.
These awesome buds have brought about the most foul disappearance of my beloved chariot.
You can make anything work.
Anything works as Russell Crowe. Although it's a fine line between Russell Crowe and Sam Worthington.
Oh, is this one of them daggers I see before me? One of those daggers of the mind.
Oh, that's Shakespeare like it was meant to be done.
It's dueling gruffs.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
Have a go, Richard.
Your favourite line from The Big Lebowski? A la Crow.
Nice marmot. Nice marmot. What do you think?
Sure.
I don't know.
Yeah, it works for me.
That's going to catch on. I don't know if we've got enough months this year. I know Star Trek fans are working towards Borgust. What else? Oh, I thought of one. Cocktober.
What do we do?
A month-long celebration
Yeah.
of the work of poet and filmmaker Jean Cocteau. You thought it was going to be rude. You thought it was going to be rude.
I was getting ready. I was wondering what the parade might be like.
Crap timber. Let's celebrate crap timber.
What happens there?
A month of crap jokes. Oh, hang on. Has it started already? Have we reached crap timber early?
So here we go. Cars crashed through at the front living room, thankfully.
It's the latest craze in Australia. It took off last year. There wasn't a single week where someone didn't drive their car through someone's lounge room.
No, and have a look at this. They've done the smart thing, and they've avoided the brick fence, because that's where you lose a lot of momentum.
You lose a lot of traction on the fence.
And they've gone straight for the French doors, because they're glass.
Right.
He's got his whole car in. Look at that. It's only the bumper bar sticking out the back.
That's an Olympic standard.
Yeah,
effort.
nobody's been hurt, of course. And they always start the same way. Ricky Devereaux thought he'd be sitting down to watch just a normal night of television until the 91 Magna came crashing through his living room.
I just think, what's that thing they have where cars drive around and round in a circle?
NASCAR?
That's it?
Yeah.
Or that other one? The Grand Prix.
Grand Prix.
Tedious.
Yeah.
Round and round in
Yeah.
a circle.
Yeah.
And I don't understand why people would go, because you're just going to see the bit where
loud.
it goes past
Yeah,
for 1
yeah, yeah,
second.
yeah.
Okay, why not add the element of having to drive through the front of a house?
At just, what, random intervals? Just pushed out onto the track?
Extra points for crashing through someone's lounge room. Extra suspense.
All right.
Houses with families watching television dotted around the course.
We've had some more calls.
Yeah.
Caftanuary.
Not bad.
Is that going to work?
We had February.
What's that?
Frocktober.
Frocktober's not bad.
And after Capril, Dismay.
Dismay.
Yeah. Some calls coming through.
Don't get dismay.
I get the feeling there will be dismay after Capril.
Okay.
Hovember, would that work? I'm surprised the people at Schweppes haven't gone with Schwepptember. Isn't that just on a plate waiting for them?
Just, you know what? All of a sudden, I heard all of the hands stop over at Schweppes HQ and people running as fast as they can, pushing each other, knuckle dusting each other right in the face to get to their boss's office to claim that one. Jeez.
The ambiguous S writes to us to say, have you seen this new show on TV, Ugly Dave Grey's Anatomy? How did we miss that one? How did we miss that one? Farting about with Ugly Dave Greywater, the real gold was staring us in the face.
It's times like this I wish we had prizes, Tone.
Yeah, we've got a bad prize pack today.
Including a loaded spear gun, a shotgun, a large amount of ammunition, knives, and an electronic cattle prod.
Is that all that's in the prize cupboard at Triple M today?
Loaded spear gun.
The electric cattle prod is one of the funnier weapons, isn't it? I mean, it's like...
Hang on. Yeah?
Well, it's the weapon that a lot of video games have. You know, like you're running down the street. I think it's Road Rash on the Sega Games machine.
Yeah, I remember that. On
You would have a
Mega
cattle
Drive.
prod,
Yeah.
and you'd be driving along on a motorbike, and you
Yeah.
could take someone out with an electric cattle prod. It's great, and
What?
it disables the bike as well.
What's funny about getting cattle prodded, Rich?
Not much,
On the
but
scale of weapons, generally.
Let's,
cattle prod, one of the funnier weapons.
If we could get one, Rich, I'd love to give you a go.
Have you
I'd
seen
love
any
to give
news?
you a quick
we could
shot.
do with one in this studio.
Great.
there was some news footage floating around a while ago, which was all these news reporters trying out the new Taser stun gun
Brilliant.
in the US, and it was just
Great.
basically road testing that.
Do you remember when they brought out capsicum spray and
Yeah.
the toughest guy in the NYPD was like, I'm going to take a shot of this capsicum spray. They can spray it in my mouth as well if they want. They won't bother me 1 second. And there was a guy kind of like he sort of menaced towards someone,
Yeah.
and they went very calmly see ya, and he just lay on the ground crying for 40 minutes.
Ouch.
Have you tried using capsicum spray to zest up a summer salad? It really does.
Really?
It's a top old...
Just some zest up.
Hey, you're talking about clips off the news. The Mexican wave, something that happens at the sports, I understand.
Yeah.
Been banned.
Yeah.
What's that about? Are you for that, Ed Campbell?
I don't like Mexican waves because it means you're not paying attention to the game.
Right.
So I'm against them.
Right. Okay. There's a lot of accidents that occur.
No, really?
What is the danger of
There
a
isn't
Mexican
any
wave?
danger.
Is it that your hand's going to go up someone's nose behind you?
Maybe.
Something like that.
You might inadvertently upskirt someone in the in the row behind you.
I didn't realise what kind of slapstick accidents could occur
There aren't any.
during a Mexican wave. Have a listen to what happened to one bloke at the MCG last weekend.
He was hit full on in the face by a pie that was thrown during a Mexican wave. Now, I ask you, is that the sort of behaviour that we as Victorians want to condone in cricket?
That is wonderful. Firstly, how do you throw a meat pie and not have it break in your
It
hand?
didn't say meat pie. I'd like to think it was the old-fashioned
Vaudeville
custard pie hurled during the frenzy of a Mexican wave. You know what I mean? It's like disguising an assassination during a riot.
That stuff.
Someone's custard pied someone during the wave. Can we just hear that clip again?
He was hit full on in the face by a pie that was thrown during a Mexican wave. Now, I ask you, is that the sort of behaviour that we as Victorians want to condone in cricket?
I love the rhythm.
I was hit full on in the face
Full on in the face.
by a pie during a Mexican wave.
I like to think it's like a really big, ornate lemon meringue pie that took 3 or 4 people to get up and launch. Do you think he did that thing, Tone, where he had to, scoop the pie out of his eyes and then blow it out of his mouth?
And shake his fist at the departing wave. Legal stories. Listen to this. John Farnham's manager, Glenn Weekly, appeared in court yesterday charged with tax evasion. While next door, Kerry DeCarnawa was up on charges of John Farnham evasion. Very odd coincidence.
Pre-ops Tranuary.
Is that going to work?
Don't know.
It's a lot of commitment for 1 month.
It really is.
It's a big change.
And you've missed it too.
Oh, yeah.
True. I had Ricky May, but
Ricky May.
But I don't know if it's too soon. Where we celebrate the wonderful life and music of Ricky May.
See how we let you hang there?
Thanks.
No one said anything.
I once got on a plane and saw the stewardess removing the armrest between 2 seats so that Ricky May could sit down.
Wow.
That's true.
Okay.
Do you have to pay for 2 seats?
Okay. Now, my friend Josh, who lives in the States, he flies all the time.
Right.
And he's one of those guys that consistently brings bags that are too heavy.
Oh, yeah.
And he's quite a thin dude. And he has always maintained, so why can't I bring this on? Because of the weight, sir. And he thinks that if you show up to the airport and you are a large man or a large lady and you've got a small bag, that's the same thing.
Right.
So he says that they should get rid of the scale with the bag and you and your bag should have to stand on the scale.
That's a good idea.
That is great.
Yes. So then, trying to think of a fat person where it won't be offensive. Robbie Coltrane.
There we go.
He's just taking on a pencil case.
Yeah.
John Cooper Clarke, a car. That would balance out. What about your old housemate, John?
My homeboy, John. I saw him last night.
Yes. Does he know we've been talking about him on the show?
He loves it.
Yeah.
I took him to a party last night and I spoke to him on the phone.
Right.
And I said, what have you been doing? He goes, well, not much. I've just been writing for The Age. My column's taken off. I was like, that's good news, Johnny boy.
He's got a column in the Melbourne Age.
Yeah, he's writing a rant about that cover that Shannon Knoll and Izzy from Neighbours did.
Don't give up, the old Peter Gabriel Kate Bush one.
The butchering.
Yeah.
He's written an article, a rant about it. It's going to be in this Sunday's Age, which will be worth a look. And I was like, well, mate, your life's going pretty well. And he goes, yeah, and I'm dating a life coach, right?
Dating a life coach?
I said, you what? Yeah, here we go. The old material gold mine is paying off.
Yeah, I'm sure he won't mind us talking about it.
No, he loves it. And I said, so what happened? He said, we went out on a first date. She said to me, what's your 5-year plan? The date's over, and I went home and I wrote my 5-year plan. And I went back and gave it to her. And without reading it, she tore it up in my face.
What's that about? Is that part of the life coaching process?
Yep.
Take the next 5 years of your life, tear it up, throw it in your face? Is that a positive reinforcement?
And now we can begin.
But, she could purposely give him a bum steer, though. She's going to, lay out a 5-year plan.
Yeah,
and if she is not perhaps feeling that strongly about him, she could actually say, well, in the first year, sell everything. Really, screw up his
To
life.
me.
What was on the 5-year plan?
He wouldn't tell me.
Singing Nick Lachey songs in public. That'd be the first 2 years.
Recording contract.
Okay, now, here's the thing, though. Today's Talkback Mountain topic is, according to my sheet here, have you gone out with a nutbag?
Yeah.
So you're implying that John's girlfriend is a nutbag?
I'm implying John's a nutbag.
Okay.
And she's a fool
Right.
taking him on. The way that he picked her up is he saw her at a bar, he walked over and told her that she looked like an actress that he'd made up. And when she asked, who is that? He's like, oh, yeah, she's on SBS. So then she goes to IMDb and tries to get this girl's details.
Oh, really?
So John had to come up with, oh, well, I'm not really sure how to spell her last name. I don't think she's been in much lately.
It sounds like 2 nutbags have found each other.
It's great on a first date when somebody's going to the internet to check out the veracity of the information you're providing. That's off to a good start. And by the way, this is what I think of your 10-year plan. That's going well. But okay, have you gone out with a nutbag, Cavalier?
Yeah, mostly. Yeah, mostly nutbags. But not funny nutbags.
I've never seen
kind of
someone
scarring types.
editing what they're going to say in their head so quickly.
Yeah.
There was a bit of nutty gear last year, but you're probably not ready to talk about it yet.
Situation X.
Yeah, we'll talk about Situation X maybe.
Yeah. You know when things are going well?
Yeah.
My new benchmark for knowing things are going well is when you're washing spew off the car of a girl at 3 a.m. that you're not going out with.
That's nutty.
Nutbag territory.
That is Ed came in.
That's how you know.
That was the day, if you remember last year, where Ed was a bit stroppy on air.
Yeah, there was 2 weeks there. Wasn't happy.
Came in one morning, he's going, I'm wiping spew off her car at 3 a.m, and apparently we're not actually going out.
Oh, dear.
That's boyfriend territory.
Yeah. Oh,
Definitely.
thanks, Rich.
No, but when you're in
really,
love,
Rich?
when you're in love, you're fine with doing that. But
Yeah.
if you're just going out, if it's not working,
Is that right, Rich?
Yeah,
You
the
know,
spew
because I
thing.
wouldn't have thought of that. What about you, Marsland?
yeah, no, I went out with a girl once about 10 years ago, and we went out.
What's her name?
I'm not going to say her name. And we were going to the movies, and she said, well, let's get some lollies from the Big W or the Woolworths because they're a lot cheaper there.
Yeah.
So we went and we got some packets of lollies, and we walked out, and then she opened up her jacket to reveal a whole bunch of stuff that she'd shoplifted.
Good stuff?
Yeah, like, Rexonas and, expensive deodorants
household
and
items,
shaving
not
equipment.
lollies.
It was quite remarkable. I mean, I wasn't sure if it was sexy or kind of cool.
Was it a trench coat she had on?
No, it was just, like a woman's cardigan.
It's kind of exciting, Richard. I mean, that was potentially the start of a whole Bonnie and Clyde deal.
It could have been. That's what I was thinking. I was
You
tossing
walked
up.
away.
I was tossing up whether or not it was nice or creepy.
Richard Marsland on the buttons just gave us what I think is his fact of the day. What was it, Richard?
Paul Schaefer from the Dave Letterman and the CBS Orchestra fame.
Which I've been to, yeah.
On the Dave Letterman show. Paul Schaefer wrote the song for the Weather Girls, It's Raining Men.
Yes.
How's that? Cal Wilson's there. Keep that applause going.
Hang on a second. But did he then retract it when Jerry Halliwell did a version?
He should have.
Take his name off
He
it?
probably didn't even know it was the same song.
He wrote It's Raining Men?
Yeah. Paul Schaefer. Just before we went to air, I said, say that as your fact of the day. And Richard's gone, well, that won't make me sound like a dick, will it? And I'm going, it's a bit late to be worrying about that, Richard. Go and have a listen to some of the old tapes. You were sticking the Australian flag up your ass on Tuesday, if you remember.
That's true. My mum called me straight after that sketch went to
What did
air.
she say?
She asked me how many stars it went up there.
Right.
Was it 5 stars deep? That was the question.
5 stars deep.
I think Richard's mum should be in for a segment at some point.
Yeah, I like the cut of her jib.
Let's get the cow's gear. What if now? Do
Can
you
I have a fact of the day?
a fact
Of course
of the
you
day?
can.
It's not as good as Richard Marsland's fact,
let's
but
hear it.
it's from page 35 of That's Life.
Hey.
Did you know cats are the only mammals that are not able to taste the sweetness of sugar?
That doesn't stop them diving in though.
No.
What do they taste?
I don't know. They just go, this chocolate tastes brown, I suppose. I don't know.
Hey, Cal.
Hello.
Look at this. Hey? Look at that. Oh,
It's a photo from out of the paper.
Oh,
Of
yeah.
a cat on a leash.
Cat's on a leash.
It's a cat on a leash, and Labrador puppies are licking their lips.
Licking their chops in anticipation. I saw this, Cal, in action.
Were you there?
In New York, no, not this particular cat walking, but in New York City, you can't walk down the street without tripping over cats on leashes.
How did
How did they do that? They must be heavily sedated.
They wouldn't walk straight. You'd be walking up on a fence in no time. How's that going to work?
Cats are very obedient. They'll stop to sniff stuff and just keep walking. Tonkinese and Burmese, if you get them young enough and you get a harness
Oh my god!
and tabbies, you can walk them round.
And are they really New Yorkie? Are they like, what are you looking at?
Oh, yeah, they'll
Like,
scratch your eyes for looking at them. Yeah.
See, if I put my cat on a leash, I'd just end up with an angry oven glove. Like, he'd just be up my arm in about 5 seconds.
Cal, are you getting into the shower with a bath and transferring the grey water out into the garden?
I am.
People are doing this, but of course the drought is also pushing snakes into the city.
into the living
Snakes
room.
are moving into Tuscan-style apartments in inner-city areas at massive, exorbitant rents.
Snakes on a tram.
It's happening. It's happening. And so, advantage the environment, disadvantage your ass. Snakes chomping onto people left, right and centre.
Suddenly finding you loofering with the King Brown.
But look at this. The Age in Melbourne today has a fantastic box of tips if you're bitten by a snake.
Okay.
Here it is. What to do if you see a snake. Here's the answer.
Tuscan.
Leave it alone.
There you go.
That's handy to know. Write
There
that
you
down.
go.
I'm just looking for a couple of quick big stories we haven't covered. Peter Foster offers guilty plea as promised while leaping from dock in underpants. Camilla's $1 million necklace wows American admirers but fails to distract from face. What bombshell news do you have for us, Cal Wilson?
Tony Martin.
It's offensive and unnecessary, and I think probably best moved on from.
Wonderful. I loved it.
No, it's appalling.
Oh.
I wouldn't stand for that.
Oh, it got me in the heart. Right. Apparently, according to Girlfriend magazine, February the 12th is National Compliments Day. And just to make sure that we all have compliments to give out, it's given you a page of compliments that you cut out. So I thought that during the show today, I would just randomly give you some early. So I'd like to say to you, Tony Martin, you're one of a kind lady.
So true. So true.
Ed,
Yes.
you get checked out all the time. What? Richard Marsland, if I were a boy, I'd totally date you.
Yes. Cool.
Where's this bombshell announcement?
Oh, your hair is shiny and fabulous, Tony Martin.
Okay. You're just distributing compliments, not startling us with facts.
You equals better than the Easter Bunny.
I equal? Do I have to say equals?
Yeah, I think so. Well, what's that? Or
That's
you,
an equal sign. What about you are better than the Easter Bunny?
or is it you two fingers like that in a gangster sign?
so
Go, you
West
better
Side
than
better
the,
than
yeah,
the Easter Bunny.
Yeah, I think that's what it is. You're more fun than MySpace.
What? How can I be?
These are very handy compliments.
Now, I heard about someone when I was in Brisbane. Josh Lawson and I went up to Brisbane to do a short film.
Yes.
And it was some good stories there, but, forgot what I was going to say. Dear, oh, dear.
Is it something about jellyfish or?
No.
You're sweeter than a first
He
kiss.
went in so confidently.
Yeah, I'm buying him
And then he
time.
forgot what to say.
One of the guys who was shooting the short film, his best friend found out that the Easter Bunny and Santa Claus weren't real at 14.
Wow.
His mum said, all right, Santa Claus isn't real. He goes, what? He's 14 years old. Long pause. But the Easter Bunny, that's real, right?
Yeah, no, that's not real either.
And then did she go? Then did she go? You're adopted, and he goes, no, back to the Easter Bunny thing.
What about the Tooth Fairy? I mean, come on.
Carl Stefanovic, is he? No, that's
not real.
a real
He's
person.
up for a Logie.
Is he just?
He's up for a silver Logie.
A silver like a shiny robot skin.
I still haven't heard any bombshell announcements.
Oh, right, okay.
What
There we
are
go.
you doing? What are you sitting on?
Speaking of shiny silver things, I got engaged.
Accidentally or on purpose?
I was drunk. No, on purpose. But the thing that I'm finding is, it's lovely. I really enjoy being engaged, and I love my fiancé. He's great.
Well done.
That's exactly what people say. Like, oh, well done. Someone picked you.
Oh.
It's like I've achieved this thing.
Yeah.
Like it's taken 3 years of hard study, but I've done it.
You're more stylish than Kate Moss.
Oh.
That's all right. I just picked out a girlfriend.
You make me
say it.
LOL. Yeah.
She'll be known as Cocaine Cal if you say that. Don't say things like that. Well, when's this happening then? That's the other thing.
Oh, we don't know yet because every time anyone goes, when's the wedding, we both go into comas. So
Yes, because the bloke will have to get used to saying my wife, which takes years because you constantly feel like you're about to go into an Ugly Dave Gray routine every time you have to introduce her to somebody. My wife!
Well, after he proposed to me, we were in the car and I was making him practice sentences with the words "my fiance" in them, just so that he would be comfortable with it.
Fiance.
Why are you?
I get all tight around the chest area when I hear the words fiance and wife and stuff.
Why is that?
I don't know.
And to me, the word fiance is kind of a funny word. It's like a showing off word. So I always feel like I should say it in this is my fiance.
I should. If you could say it that way from now on the program, we'll be happy. But hey, you're going to need, if this wedding's going ahead, you'll need catering and food.
Yeah. Yesterday, I was sitting there minding my own business on YouTube after the show had finished, doing some research. And Marsden walks in, like, Lord Muck, holding a couple of his Farmers Union's iced coffees and proudly munching on a hot dog from the service station.
Yeah.
No sauce, no mustard, just it by itself.
In a bun or just
in the bun?
Oh, right.
In a bun.
And he was so proud of himself. And I've literally never seen anyone eat one before in my life.
They taste pretty good, but I know what you're saying. It's a self-serve aspect in a service station that's off-putting.
But Rich, of all the things in the service station, what makes you gravitate towards the hot dogs?
Well, I saw all the sandwiches sitting there, and I need my dietary intake of bovine lips and genitalia for the day.
Bun levels were low.
I'm sure they're fine sandwiches, but I just don't want sandwiches prepared by people who handle petrol.
Yeah.
It's not the go. I just don't think it's the go.
They just get soggy, don't they? They just get soggy.
And flammable.
I did it for the show, though. It looked more interesting. I knew you'd crack up at it.
You did, didn't you?
And so I thought, I'm just going to walk in there with a service station hot dog and see what he says.
Yeah. So it was for my benefit.
Yeah, I
so
took
you
a
ate
bullet.
the whole thing for my benefit. Thanks, Rich.
Get this, it's Blown Out to 2 hours, 11 to 1 weekdays on the Triple M network.